As someone who has about 7 years of experience with Blender, I remember my first ever day and how daunting this interface looked. I remember watching hundreds of videos and not even knowing where to start. So if you're a beginner that is serious about getting the hang of Blender, then this video's for you. So quick recap of what we're doing.
I'm going to walk you through the Blender interface, show you how to actually move around in 3D space, explain the two main modes you'll live in, and teach you the 3 keyboard shortcuts that will honestly cover like 80% of what you do day to day.
And we're going to try to do it as quickly as possible. So just hang around, okay? This is your 3D viewport. It's your workspace where everything happens. Alright, navigation. This is where most beginners get completely lost, so just pay attention. One of the most important things in 3D is you have to be able to orbit around your mesh. I hope you're following along. Just try this yourself. Place your finger on the scrolling wheel and just press down on it. And move it. And you'll see that you're able to actually orbit around your mesh. That's crazy, I know. To pan, it's actually kind of similar. So you're going to do the same thing, but you're going to press shift first and then hold down your middle mouse button and you'll be able to pan around your screen. Zooming is quite standard, just like in any other application. You just use your scrolling wheel and you're able to zoom in and out. Okay, that was quite simple. These are the main 3 things that you will use. Try and play around with it a little to get the hang of it, because I know it can be kind of confusing at first. Good job! That was great! Another way you can change your perspective in the viewport is actually by using the number pad. So there are 3 essential numbers that you'll be using, and these are honestly the only ones I actually use. If you press number 1, you'll go into front face view. If you press number 3, that's your side view. And if you press number 7, that's your top view. And there's also number 9 for bottom view, but I don't really use it. If you just play around with your number pad, you'll see there are a lot of different combinations you can do. Everybody's workflow is different, so just try them out, play around with it. If you, for whatever reason, don't have a number pad, don't worry. You can actually achieve the exact same outcome by holding Alt and your middle mouse button and just moving around your mesh, and that will snap to whatever direction your mouse is moving in. Next, we're going to explore the 2 main modes in Blender. This is genuinely the most important concept for beginners that I didn't grasp until a while into using Blender. You're going to have 2 main game modes. Object mode is essentially where you manage your objects as a whole. You can grab your object and move it around and scale it, rotate it. But what if I actually want to go into the model and actually change what it looks like? Well, that's where edit mode comes in. If you press on tab, you'll actually be able to switch between object and edit mode, and you'll actually see our toolbox over here changing. If you don't want to use the shortcut, you can go at the top left, and if you click on this button over here, you'll see a bunch of different modes. Don't worry about those, just go to edit mode. Now that we're in edit mode, you'll see that it appears yellow and you'll see these dots. If you click on a dot, you can select it. When you're in edit mode, you'll see these 3 icons on the top left. The first one is the one that we have selected right now. So I want you to pay attention to the way that the cube visually changes. This is the first mode. This is the second mode. You'll see that the dots disappeared. And if I click on one of the lines, I can actually select the edges of the cube as a whole now. So this is edge select. And then the third one is face select. I can actually select the face of the cube as a whole. This is actually really useful when it comes to 3D modeling because it saves you the hassle of having to select this, then select this, then select this, and so on. And then now I actually selected the face. But why do that when I can actually do it in literally one click, you know? You can actually shift between these modes by pressing 1, 2, and 3 on your keyboard. Now you're ahead of 90% of beginners. Let's actually find out how to change this mesh visually. So I'm going to go into face select mode by either pressing this button or pressing number 3. And and I'm going to press G on my keyboard. G for grab. And what that's gonna do is actually just grab this face, and I'm going to be able to move it around. Now, if I do this and I orbit, you'll see it's not a straight line. It moves based off of my camera angle. So if I go ahead and I press 1, you can actually, do it more accurately. Now it's only moving it in the x-axis. Okay, pause. What I was actually trying to explain, if it was not clear, is why snapping your perspective is actually useful when it comes to Blender. In Blender, when you move something, it's based off of where your camera's facing. So snapping your view ensures that whenever you move something, it's moving in the exact direction that you want to move it in, instead of a random direction that looks right only from one angle. If for whatever reason I don't want to do that, you can press G and then press X to only move it in the x-axis. That locks it for that axis. You can actually do that with every axis, X, Y, and Z. And this works for all the shortcuts I'm about to show you. Next, what if I wanted to scale this face? I want to make it smaller. What I'm actually going to do is I'm gonna press S for scale, and now I can scale it however I want. So I want it tinier, so we're just gonna go ahead and do that. Perfect. And I want a little bit of rotation. Don't even worry about how that looks like right now, just play around with these shortcuts. So as I said, you can really see that rotation. It really does rotate based off of my perspective. But if I press Y, I can actually rotate it how I want it to be. So I'm gonna just tilt it like this. I have this weird shape that was once a cube, but now resembles nothing of the sorts. Back into edit mode we go. What I'm about to share with you is very important, and I use this like literally all the time. It's literally a lifesaver. What if I wanted to just make the middle of whatever this is actually fatter? I want to give it some shape, but I can't really select anything in here. I mean, there is nothing there. In order to add geometry, we can add something called a loop cut. So I want you to try pressing Ctrl R, and you'll see if I move my mouse around, there is this outline. I can use the scrolling wheel to add more than one. I can add as many as I want, but I only actually need one. If I left click, it places it, and I can actually move it on the mesh. But I liked where it was, so I'm going to right click to cancel this movement, and it's just gonna leave it where it was. So now it's automatically selected for me. I don't have to manually select it, and I can just press S and scale it up. Kind of actually resembles some kind of crystal or a rock. There's one last thing I want to show you. So go back to object mode, press Shift A to add, and you can actually add already created shapes. So if I needed a sphere for example, a pupil, I can just click that and add it, and here's my sphere. I can do that again for example, a cylinder. I mean, this is really useful. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really use that often, but this is very useful if you just want something quick and easy. So this is genuinely the foundation. Everything else in Blender is built on top of these concepts. So as long as you master them, you can watch as many videos as you want, and you'll actually know what's happening. I really hope this helped you out. Subscribe if you're genuinely serious about learning Blender. Alright, now go mess around with Blender.